Jason, this is where we find out who really is made for regular season basketball, who's really not conditioned well enough for playoff conditions. And I'm not saying Nikola Jokic is not one of those guys, but I am simply saying from carrying the load that he's been carrying for the past couple of months, he's had the 3 worst playoff games that I've seen. And having the chance to go up 3-1 and put a stranglehold on this series that puts you in the driver's seat, it puts you up to say, okay, all we got to do is handle a game 6 at home. Denver had no legs. OKC grinded out a win, which we're not sure Oklahoma City was capable of doing. Like, I felt like game 4 was the series. But what do you want to start with, Jokic and his performance, or do you want to start with where Oklahoma City sits now that they've tied that series 2-2?
Well, let's start with Jokic, right? Because when he won his first MVP and when he won his championship, what we did, and I talked about this on my pod, what we did was, okay, this is about to be a run, y'all. It's about to be, his game is going to grow and age well because the whole joke, you can't jump over a piece of paper, all this other stuff. And then, slowly but surely, over these last couple of years, we've seen how reliant not only the team has been, but the organization has been in terms of roster. Uncle Jeff, go out, get out of here. Bruce Brown, you got to roll too. KCP, see you in Orlando, right? And these pieces that you need throughout the regular season, so that by the time you get to the playoffs, you go, hey, big fella, go get everything that you need to get. Well, when he was getting crazy triple doubles, like not 25, 12, and 10, even though that's amazing, but like these 30, 20s, and 15s on a Tuesday against the Jazz in the regular season, I was like, hey, y'all, this is a lot. Usage rate, like, what's going on here? And you get to this point of the season, and now, the thing that I love about Oklahoma City, they switch with intention. Like, you see these teams switching because they have to or because you're just used to doing it. It's like a dance, a pick and roll dance that everybody plays where it's like, run through that, get over that, right? They switch with intention. So now they're switching. Oh, Jalen Williams, hey, you got 6 of them joints. Go get him, go foul him, go make him work. Chet Holmgren, make his ass run up and down. Like there are certain pieces of the game that maybe 4 or 5, 3 or 4 years ago, we could have forecasted, like, is it going to be too much for him? We talk about his build. And we talk about how big he is and how he doesn't look, he's not the greatest athlete. Well, at some point, when you're going up against the greatest athletes in the world, it's going to wear on you. In 3 straight games, shooting 40% or less, that's not a coincidence at all. So I love it, man. And on top of it, like you mentioned, you see the Bull, you mentioned the Bulls thing, the back-to-back games. You also find out, and my grandfather told me, hey, party like a man, work like a man. Okay, like you moving and grooving in the playoffs. You might have a different. I'm not talking about Jokic here. I'm not talking about the Nuggets, but you moving and grooving, and throughout the regular season, we all got routines, baby. You pull up, all right, this is the city I'm gonna chill in, or this is the city I'm gonna turn it up in. All right, I had a bad game. I'm gonna get nice in this city. Like, it's a different vibe, depending on what you got going on at home and just everything. And on top of that, you get to see the mental wear. I've never seen Nikola Jokic look like Luka Doncic after every call now, right? Like the moment Mike Malone went bye-bye, there seemed to be a shift not only in leadership but in vocal leadership for him. So I think all the energy is being sapped out of him and taken out of him. And for this greatest big man of his generation and one of the greats of all time, like this is the test right here. Like this is the time. And I agree with you, brother. I was watching that game again this morning, and I sat there and that 11-0 run, I'm like, how did they lose this game? Like, you shot that poorly. You played that poorly in the first quarter. You still were in it in the fourth quarter. And then all of a sudden, an 11-0 run happens. Like Michael Porter Jr., come on down anytime you're ready. I know you got the shoulder, but if you're out there, you're out there, right? Aaron Gordon doing everything he possibly can, knocking down threes. Like, this is one of those moments where if they lose this series, you had it right there in your hands.
Look, there's inflection points, I think, Jason, in every single series. Like in the Boston-New York series, it was definitely game 3 where you were like, okay, the Celtics are done playing with you guys. Like, stop wasting my time. Like, that's what I want to tell the Celtics. Stop wasting my time. I'm glad I got to come to New York for obvious reasons, but don't waste my time. Like, y'all, you are wasting my emotional, practical bandwidth. Now, for the Denver Nuggets, they have been on such an emotional sort of this roller coaster, Jay, from 3 games left in the season, you fire your coach. Then you go into this 7-game war with the Clippers, right? A war
Yeah.
where, let's be perfectly honest, that game 7 skews the way a lot of people viewed that series. But they got out of that series by the skin of their chin, okay? Then you go right into the series with Oklahoma City. You steal game 1. You get your doors blown off in game 2. Overtime in game 3. How much do you have left? And if you're Jokic, I hate to say it like this because, Jason, this is what we do. We put everything on Giannis. We say, Giannis, who we're going to talk about later, you
100%.
won a grand total of 1 playoff series since winning your championship. Steph, don't matter if Draymond is acting a fool. Don't matter if you have Jonathan Kuminga who's not doing much. We're putting this on you because you're the guy. LeBron,
Right.
we don't have to say about all the wreck we put on LeBron, how much is earned compared to how much he invites. But when you're the guy and you're traveling in these rarefied airs, we're telling you, you have to play up to expectations. And if you are fatigued, that's the one thing I want to say, do we accept fatigue over poor performance? I'm not exactly sure what's the easier thing for the public to sort of absorb. But we can't, because we can't see fatigue. Like, we can see it, like the shots going up short, you're not being able to get back on defense, you're not playing with that pop. But if we see poor performance, all we're going to judge is poor performance. I'll tell you this. They playing that man like he's Shaq.
Yeah.
Assembly line defense. Hey, you got 6 fouls, you got 6 fouls, you got 2 hands. Everybody's coming in on him and telling him, hey, if you're the guy, you're going to have to show us that you're the guy with all these hands and all these eyeballs, and nobody else is. Like, Jamal Murray stepped up, and then he faded down the stretch because everybody is beat except for that young team over there who has a little bit more energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I saw that.
Yo, the Oklahoma City Thunder defense, what they can do, and with they bided their time this season, got Alex Caruso healthy. Alex's body, and I heard this from a linebacker back in the day, Bobby Carpenter. I did a show with him back in the day, and he talked to me about how not everybody's body is meant to play football or play basketball. And it's not a shot at that person. It's just bodies are built differently. We talk about Derrick Rose in this city and how much basketball he played before he was a pro and how much your body breaks down.
That odometer starts well before you get to the league, dog.
Hell yeah. And that Oklahoma City Thunder team has so many bodies they throw at you. Right. And whether it's Case and Wallace, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, like dudes are digging down. Like the perimeter help that they have defensively, I think gets lost in the sauce of like what they do. Like usually you see defense, you think, okay, closeouts, hedging, making sure guys aren't splitting pick and rolls. There's certain principles, 5, foot in the paint, all that stuff. Man, they throwing dudes at you. They know it's like, okay, I got another cat. Like we grew up in the 80s and 90s where we watched playoff basketball. It was like, all right, you got your wing, your big, and your guard that's coming off the bench. The other 5 dudes, cop squat. You can wear a suit under the warm-ups. It's not gonna matter. They still going 10 deep. So if you get to this point with the youngest team in the league, a team that doesn't know what it doesn't know, because you saw that actually, I think in Game 4 as well, like they didn't know that they should have had their doors blown off the way they were playing.
They were bracing for something that never came.
Yeah. So yeah, man, this Oklahoma City's got that vibe to them that to me Boston had last year, where it's like if you look at everything, kind of like with the Eagles this year in the Super Bowl, where it's like no, that's the better team, but
you should win it. The element of everything is telling us that you are good enough, that you should win. And here's the other point about Jokic that I just thought about. When we think about Shaq and we think about some of the other bigs, they're only catching the ball in certain places, so there's only so much of an effect that a small guard can have on a Shaq. When Shaq catches on a low block, he's going to take a couple dribbles, turn and spin or whatever it is, right?
Right.
Jokic is catching the ball at the elbow, guard territory. 3-point line, guard territory. Right wing, guard territory. So that means all those guys that you named, in addition to Shai, J-Dub, Lou Dort, all those hands coming and slapping at you. And every time you have to account for a guard coming to slap at you, that's energy. That's a resource that you have that keeps eating away at you and eating, sapping away at you, and it takes away from your focus. So by the time you get down the lane and you catch the ball on the block, oh yeah, all I got is these two big dudes on me. That's even more energy. Like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah, it's a
finite
gauntlet. It's a gauntlet every
it's a
possession.
gauntlet. It's a finite resource that, whether that's, like you said, Jason, whether that is the function of team building or that's a function of the way that that team mechanically works with Jokic as
Right.
the lone hub, that puts you in a spot that, unless he's at optimal performance, optimal conditioning, you're going to have problems. I'm not counting them out in this series. Let me make this perfectly clear, because I think Oklahoma City is growing and growing up right before us, when we were saying, man, I don't know how long it's going to keep for us to keep saying in 3 years they're going to get
They
it.
coming.
Sooner
Yeah.
or later, they ain't saying we coming. They saying
They're
we here,
Yeah.
right? I'm not putting it past Denver to win this series. They could very well win this series. But when you have Jokic having 3 of his 6 worst playoff games happening in succession, it's very hard to pull the nose up and say, you know what, this plane ain't crashing.
Let me
By
tell you
and
this.
large.
The thing that, along with that, the thing that the basketball gods, they've cheated us over the years, right? We never got a chance to see LeBron and Kobe face off, in the NBA finals, like those kinds of things that stick in my craw. What I wanted to happen was, I wanted Denver to win that game as it progressed. Where you're like, okay, they're close at home. They got the reigning MVP against the current MVP. I wanted them to go down 3-1 so we could find out what Shai is all about.
Ooh.
Because
Ooh.
because I'm gonna tell you now, you look at the box score and you look at how he performed. I'm telling you, that fourth quarter, those 9 points, they came in a couple of bunches, but there were stretches where he missed a turnaround jump shot. He missed a step back three. He missed a drive to the hoop. And I'm like, oh, okay.
He
Because
missed
you
two.
look,
He missed 2 shots in a row from the same spot, and I
yes,
was like, "Oh, he's trying to take it," but
yes,
he didn't have it, and I was like, "Oh, this is the game where we're finding out that
this is it.
you're not as real as we think you are."
And
Ooh,
that's
baby.
and Vinny, the crazy part is we are saturated with everything being hate and disrespect, instead of it being like, reckoning points, like you mentioned, inflection points or moments where like, oh, this is it now. Because he is a beautiful player to watch, but you got 68 wins. You blew everybody out all season long. They played the fewest clutch games of any team in the NBA this year. You get to this moment where I'm like, oh, okay, let's find out. Like, there was a whole lot of Jordan 88 conversation in terms of the numbers, right? And rightfully so. But now, when it's time, go go do your Boston, number. Like, go do against, Elo. Go do your Knicks series. Go do your wars with Indiana and Reggie Miller. I'm not saying obviously these things are going to happen if these guys go along to the championship and have. I mean, Shea versus Anthony Edwards. I mean, that's
Ooh.
box office, right? But
Give it to
but
me. Give
yeah,
it to
that's
me.
box. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell you something right
Go ahead
now.
and say it. Go ahead, give
If
it to
I
me, because I know where
left
you're going.
ankle,
I
left
know where you're
ankle and
going.
all, I don't care. Left ankle and all, America. Okay, because I am going with Anthony, and I love Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Everything sounds like hate when you're trying to, really break this thing down. But I was 3-1 with Shea down 3-1 and getting the MVP here, because everybody thinks we're gonna get the
Yeah, he
MVP,
getting it.
and
Yeah,
having the
he's going to
young
get it.
boys and going back to the crib, like, it would have made for some magic, right? It's gonna be great theater no matter what, right? You got a best of 3 series now, but I was looking at that down the stretch, and then when you get to inside the NBA after, and Ernie said he had 9 points in the fourth quarter, I'm like, damn, did he play that well? Because I
Right. It
remember the
didn't
fourth
feel like
quarter,
it.
it
It
did
didn't feel
not.
like it.
It did not. And I love watching them play, but I love when guys meet that moment. And the Nuggets poor shooting and some issues, I thought, substitution wise, they kept some dudes in there a little bit
Yeah.
longer,
Yep.
like Peyton
Yep.
Watson. At some
Mm-hmm.
point, got to come up out of there because they using him on offense as you have
Diminishing
penalty kill.
returns after a certain point with a
Yeah,
guy like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I was hoping that thing turned in a different way, just from a theater perspective. But
Right. Right.
Oklahoma City did exactly what they needed to do down the stretch. That's a tough ass team too, man. That's a bunch of tough young dudes. I rock with them. I rock with them.
Look,
But I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it get a little spooky for them a little bit.